You're live, Louie.
Louie is live. He decided to join us.
So we got Louie in studio today, and Louie's our special guest, and he will be sharing today on
side hustles and marketing.
So Louie,
everybody loves a puppy.
Everybody loves a side hustle, Louie. So just tell us, how you make money besides just having people pet you and laying around being lazy.
Okay. Well, we're here today because we want to talk to you about side hustles. And our platform is a platform where we want to share ideas and share things that you've learned about. And what's good for one person may not be good for everybody. But if it inspires you to start a side hustle and have more success, then that's what it's all about. But okay, there's Louie.
So Louie grew up like when he was a puppy on Acton's desk every day, so he's used to sleeping on the desk. So
yeah, he was the size of his head. He was the cutest little thing in the whole world, and he still is the cutest little thing in the whole world. But
he's starting to get a little needy.
A little needy. But kind of what talked the conversation is, you've been on social media for over 12 years, 14 years, a long time. And basically you've just shared your journey and you share different things that you've done. Some things you continue to do, some things you stop doing. But what we've learned about being in business in the painting industry over 20 years is you can't just rest on your past success. Like, the economy changes, times change, and you have to be flexible and willing to change with them. So if you marketed your business through the phone book and you are still marketing your business through the phone book, there's a good chance you're not having a lot of success. You need to change how you do things. And so, side hustles is a thing that if you're not making any money or if you have some time, it's something to consider. And so you did a post yesterday and it got a lot of hate and it made me a little bit upset. And so I'll show the post. It's this wicker chair that you painted.
So it's like
That's it. It's this wicker chair that you painted. And
my side hustle is painting furniture, flipping furniture. That's one of my side hustles. And so I had a booth set up in my shop. So I have everything set up. I got sprayers set up because all winter long I've been flipping furniture. So it was just simple, convenient. I think Louie might have to go down.
I think Louie's saying goodbye, Louie. Okay.
Say bye to Louie.
So you have had your booth set up,
and so everything's there. It's all ready to go, and it's easy for me to walk out there and just paint a piece of furniture. And lo and behold, you came up with a piece of furniture, this wicker chair, for some unusual reason, and you wanted it painted. And what's interesting too is painters, we have lots of extra paint, and it just so happened you wanted a pink chair. You went out in the paint storage and found a gallon of paint that I'd used to paint a slide years ago that was still out there. There was some left, and you're like, I want this chair painted pink. And so off we went painting the chair, off I went.
And the thing is our daughter's going to have a baby girl in a month, and we threw her a baby shower. And last baby shower we did, we rented a wicker chair. And so this chair you thought should go in the trash. It's like, no, we could paint it and we could use it for our daughter. So you took between 15 to 30 minutes to do this chair. And it went with all the other stuff we made for the shower, and our daughter sat in it and she looked beautiful, and it was such a blessing. But people did not like it, and they thought it was a joke, and they thought you were a joke. And I think that's sad, because I think, hopefully as a painter, you can use your skills to be a blessing to your friends and family. And you did that. You went out there, sprayed it off, sanded it off, and did a coat of paint. And we used it and we loved it and we're so happy. And it's like, hopefully, as painters, you have excess paint. Maybe if you're slow, there's things you can do to make money. And so,
or maybe there's things that you can do to make your wife happy and your
Yes.
child happy, and that's the whole goal. Because I literally, like, if you see the chair in the beginning, it was covered, leaves were embedded in it. That's why I was blowing it off. I was like, oh my gosh, this thing needs to go in the trash. It's like, this is ridiculous. But you were adamant you wanted it painted, and at first I said no, and then my wife, she gets
That's
what
sad.
she wants. And so I decided to do the chair for you, and I was like, oh my gosh, somebody's gonna fall through the chair, but
It didn't. It
did
worked.
it, and it worked out. It actually looks way better than the picture.
I
And,
took the picture afterwards, so I think it was the lighting. But anyways, like people said, it still doesn't matter what color you paint it. It's still trash. It wasn't trash. We used it for the baby shower.
How about another comment?
This is just, this says get a new one. Sure, I was hoping to see you repair the broken leg. So there isn't a broken leg on it. I mean, obviously there's some pieces that you snipped off, but the reality is you're a painter and you use your painting skills to provide for us. And you can use those painting skills, like if you're slow, to encourage other painters that, maybe you can start some side hustles. And so one side hustle is furniture.
Flipping furniture.
Yeah.
Of all of the, like, I've been posting a lot of stuff like flipping furniture, and I thought of all the posts that I did, like this one was going to get a lot of good comments, and it had the opposite effect. And so,
But I think,
I guess that should not be a surprise.
yeah, but I do think, we do want to be a place where maybe you're struggling and not making a lot of money and you have access to old furniture, free furniture, cheap furniture, and you have a bunch of paint. There's money to be made. And we did a live show on Facebook, and on Facebook Marketplace is where our daughter sells most of the furniture pieces. And so that's the thing. It's like there's free places that you could post it and that you could sell it and get good money. And you know what? If you're slow, we're throwing it out there. That's a way that you could make money if you're not making any money. There was another thing that you shared on your page, and on this platform, it's received over 10 million views. Instagram over 20, Facebook over 2. So it's gotten a lot of views, but a lot of comments. Do you have any comments on YouTube? And you want to share? That is another opportunity that we want to talk about of side hustle.
I think sometimes I post things for just no rhyme or reason at all. Sometimes I post things, because I want you to see what I'm doing throughout the day. Sometimes I post, tools because so you can see like new and unusual tools out there. And sometimes I post things that I don't use them, but maybe you'll use them. And so
Yeah.
I post them to share because, just because it's not for me doesn't mean it's not for everybody else. Sometimes I post things, tools and products because I actually really like them, and if I like them, I want to share with my audience, and because if I like it, maybe they'll like it too. But just because I like it doesn't mean you will like it, and just because I think a tool is valuable doesn't mean that you'll think it's valuable.
So what tool what are you talking about?
the one
It's gotten all these views.
that gets people just really heated and worked up, and I don't know where these painters find the time to type all this stuff to begin with, because I think you'd probably be better off earning money in painting, but
I think this tool that you're going to talk about, so we're on YouTube, so you want to look at YouTube comments.
This comment, now you want me to go find the comment on YouTube?
Oh, I don't know. We're on YouTube right now, but I think the thing is why you're sharing this machine is that you tried it and you think it's a really cool machine, and you think there's people out there that would really value it, and it could be maybe a side hustle for their paint business. Maybe this is a service they can offer to their clients. And so, with that in mind, you post this because we're talking about side hustles. And I think the biggest thing in life is, if you are a painter, you need to be flexible, which a lot of people aren't. They do things one way and they never change, and they never think outside the box. And so we want to bring ideas to you that can make you think outside the box and give you opportunities to bring in more revenue streams to your business. And this might be one for you, or it might not, but I guarantee it's going to be for somebody, because we already know our son-in-law is looking at doing this, offering the service.
So a lot of the comments, stem around, the cost of the tool. It's the stain and the expert paint and stain machine. So it's a machine that you could feed a piece of lumber through it, a fence picket through it, and you could stain a fence, you could stain a deck, you could stain a pergola, you could paint trim, by just manually feeding it and pulling it through. There's nothing motorized to it, but when I first saw it, instantly, I'm always thinking outside the box. I'm always trying to make money and in different ways, because I know, you always should be thinking about diversifying your income and not only having one revenue source, and be it exterior painting or just interior painting.
Just cabinets.
I do cabinets. I do carpentry. I do drywall work. I mean, I do a lot of different things. At 12 years old, I started a toy business making toys. So I'm always thinking outside the box. As soon as I saw the machine, I'm like, I didn't know instantly, but I thought, oh my gosh, this could make some money. And it can make money, in staining fences, pre-staining the fence before installing it. And the reason why, it just so happened when I got the thing, I was doing an exterior and they were installing a fence, and I knew that I possibly would be contracted to stain the fence, and there was a lot of landscaping and everything, and staining fences, you're spraying it and you're backbrushing it, there's overspray, and there's a lot of liability to them, but there's money to be made. But I was thinking, oh my gosh, if I was actually contracted to stain this fence, they were installing it right then. I was like, man, I could have came out the day before. I could have pre-stained everything. I could have made the same amount of money, but 2 to 3 times faster with almost no liability. And I'm like, oh gosh, this thing could make me money. And so, I that's how I think. And when I see tools and machines, is like, is this something that could be profitable and make me money? And so somebody made a comment, and this comment comes from Mr. Morris, Mike. He says, Mike Morris, makes this comment, and he says, how many times are you going to post videos of this? And he's really irritated that I posted another video on this machine, and because I think it's kind of cool to watch and cool content, and it gets views, and there's a lot of people that think and like me and could benefit from it. But then he goes on, he says, I've seen it at least once a week, for weeks on end. Also, how many customers call you before the fence is installed? I'm an owner and operator of a local painting company here in the Valley, and not once have been asked prior to the fence being installed to stain it. He says, good idea, ? And yes, definitely, but not enough to justify $3,000 plus, the $3,000 plus price tag. Not at all. So first off, the price tag, $3,000. It's actually, $3,700. If you do the math, you are going to pay the machine off probably in 2 to 3 fences that you do, an average size fence, because you are going to stain faster, more efficiently. You're not going to use masking. It's not going to, there's going to be a lot less liability, etc. You will make your money back. So I think the same theory and the same logic that he uses, why spend $4,000 on a Titan 1140? It's $4,000. I mean, why not brush and roll the house? I mean, it's ridiculous to spend that kind of money on a sprayer. Well, the sprayer will make you paint faster and more efficiently, and you'll eventually pay it off in probably 2 to 3 houses or 4 maybe. So it's the same idea. It's new technology comes out and it costs money. Why did I pay $1,200 for this phone? I mean, that's crazy. It makes me money. It's part of my business, and it's a business expense. It's going to make me faster, more efficient. So the other thing he said was the comment was nobody's ever called him to pre-stain a fence, before it's installed.
Marketing.
And so, but nobody ever called me to paint their house until I placed a door hanger on their door, or I somehow sent them an email to market to them, or they pulled a pull tag. So you got to market yourself, and you have to get smart about it. And how am I going to make money doing this? So I'll give you an example. The very first job I did, I drove 2 hours away to McCall to stain a privacy fence. I was going to spray it and backbrush it, and I got a hold of the machine, and I called the fencing company, and I said, hey, and I thought they would say no, but I said, hey, is there any way I can pre-stain this fence before you install it? And they said, oh, sure, not a problem. I said, how does it work? Do you guys just deliver the lumber and install that day? And they're like, no, we usually deliver like a week before, install it, or a week before deliver it. And it's usually on a trailer. And I'm like, oh, cool. So how long do I have to stain it? They said a week. And I'm like, all right. So they delivered it. He called me up. I drove out 2 days later. I stained it and then stacked it. And then they installed it. So what's the benefit to that? Well, it was 2 to 3 times faster. There was no overspray. I didn't spend money on masking, but here's another benefit. To the customer, the bottom of the picket gets stained. The top of the picket gets stained. The sides of the picket get stained if they're not, having some wide gap that you can literally, backbrush into it. So the customer actually gets a better end product.
Better protection of the wood.
Better protection. The wood's going to last longer. I couple it with using expert stain and seal penetrating oil and self-leveling oil. So now you can handle the picket. It's going to self-level. It's not going to run. You can run it through, saturate it, stand it up. If it runs, it self-levels. It's just simply magic is what it is. Expert stain and seal products are the best for your fence. It's an oil. It's going to add oil to the wood, keep it from drying out, checking, cracking, splitting, warping, keeps it water repellent, and keeps it bug resistant. So the customer is going to end up getting a better end result. And so that's one example. Let me give you another example. My son-in-law, he's like bound and determined to make money with this machine.
Because he helped you with it, and he saw the value.
Yeah, you can watch him. He was like, oh my gosh. And he's an apprentice painter. He's a realtor also, but he's always side hustling, always looking for ways to make money. And he's like, dude, I can make all kinds of money with this machine. And I'm like, all you got to do is go talk to a fencing company, and I'll bet you're going to get jobs. So the very first fence company he met with, he went out to lunch with them and said, hey, do you guys ever have people pre-stain your fences? And it just so happened they said, yeah, we do, quite a few. A lot of fence companies don't even get involved because they don't want the liability, because they think you got to spray it and overspray, and they're not painters, they don't want to deal with it. This fence company says, yeah, we do. And he says, I got this magic machine, the Experts Paint and Stain machine. And they said, like the other company up in McCall I contacted, they said, we're not interested, in buying the machine, but, you can actually come stain the pickets for us, right in our shop. We'll sell it to the customer. And I'm like, okay, golden. And this company he met with, he said, I can pre-stain it for you. And they're like, we're totally interested. They said, this is what we sell the stain for. We tell customers $12 a linear foot is what we're going to stain the fence for. So now he negotiated, and they're negotiating somewhere $9 to $10 an hour. He can make really good money staying in the fence. He doesn't actually have to sell anything to anybody. The fence company just contacts him, saying, "We've got another job." And the fence company makes something. They have no liability. They don't have to run around, and with overspray problems and all that other stuff. They're like, "Oh my gosh, we can make money, and it's pre-stained." The fence company is now selling a better product to their customer also, by having Luke pre-stain the fences. So it's a win-win for everybody. And
So I think like with you sharing this, it's not for everybody, but if you are a fence company or if you work with a fence company, it's an opportunity. If you're slow and you have a couple guys that you want to keep employed and you don't have work, you could have them be that part of the business that does the pre-staining. And so the thing is it's a side hustle. But like Chris pointed out, the guy's like, nobody's going to call me. Well, nobody's going to call you and ask for you to pre-stain something unless you market it, unless you offer that service on your website. When you're sending out marketing information of the services that you provide, and then you have to sell it. You have to say you're going to get a better finished product. Your wood is going to be protected more than just spraying and back brushing.
And the reason why I share stuff, and sometimes I share stuff over and over again, is, I've had a successful painting company. I don't think it's rocket science to figure that out. And I actually love what I do. And I started making videos on YouTube 14 years ago to help my audience have the same success. And if I see an opportunity where I can make a lot of money and make it really easily with almost no liability, and I actually could teach somebody how to do it in one day and send them out to do it, and I can make money and just have guys out there doing fences, why wouldn't I share it with my audience? And why wouldn't I share it like over and over again and say, and I share it for the people that will see it and get it. And maybe you don't see it the first time, but I'll share it again. And so like you're seeing it, but like you saw people had a lot of questions. It's gonna be too hard to clean. Well, one of the things you saw was me showing you how to clean it really
Answering
easily.
those questions.
Another time you saw it again, it was people were saying there's fingerprints all over it. I'm like, there really isn't if you use the right product. Expert stain and seal, self-leveling, non-drying oil. And so you keep seeing it because I'm trying to help you guys understand this is a gold mine.
The value.
It's
for those. I mean, it's just like we know our son-in-law's like, I want to start a side business doing this, and so it's like that is what you're doing. You're just sharing something that you think could be good for businesses, and for those who appreciate it, great. But for all the haters out there, I just think that's sad.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't have to like everything. That's what makes the world go round. But I think we wanted to talk about side hustles, and I just think in this world...
What's some other side hustles we do?
Well, does Asher have any questions?
Quite a few questions.
Okay, here we go. Questions and answers time.
So first, a couple people just say thanks for your videos. They've helped them a lot.
Cool.
This one's quick. Timothy is asking, do you have a franchise with your Paint Life store physical location?
We do not at this time, but we'll sell online to you.
We do have a physical store in Boise, Idaho, on State Street. You can come down, you can meet us. We own and operate it. It's a family-owned and operated business. My wife and I, my kids run it. We have some amazing employees that work with us, videographers, photographers, and fulfillers and stuff. So if you want to come down and meet us, we have the physical store. We mainly ship online worldwide.
PaintLifeSupply.com.
PaintLifeSupply.com.
Two more people say thank you, Carlos and Joshua, Anderson
you.
and Alu. Those are all the
Thank you, Carlos, Joshua,
Being with us.
Andrew. Really appreciate it.
Daniel is saying, hey, Paint Life, I have a painting business in Cleveland, Ohio, and use Instagram and business cards to promote myself.
Smart.
Most of my clientele is returning customers. Any suggestions on getting new customers?
So, encourage your returning customers, to, refer you. And I would say, we eventually sold our painting company, and we were getting a lot of work by referral and turning down a lot of work by referral. And I think part of the reason why, I know a lot of the reason why is we were doing a great paint job. giving amazing customer service at an affordable price. But one of the things Lisa did, every single person that called in said, hey, I want a paint job. My wife, and if they didn't say you were referred, my wife would always say, Lisa, my wife.
Hi.
We're married. So Lisa would say, who referred you? And that's key, vital, essential. I can't express enough. Ask the very first thing. Ask, how'd you hear about us? And if they were referred, ask who referred you, and then and make sure that you know who that person is. You have some type of contact information. Every single person that referred us, we gave them a Starbucks gift card, and it's not the gift card. It's part of marketing expense, and we would give stacks of them out. It's just part of marketing. It's not the gift card. It's not the cup of coffee that made the person feel good. It was acknowledging the fact that we appreciated them. We went to some extent to ask and find out and create a letter and send a thank you letter and say, here's something, a small token, for you just simply referring us. We didn't necessarily get the job. We don't send them a Starbucks gift certificate only if we get the job. It's if they ever refer us, it's a Starbucks gift card. It'll tell you the very first gift card that a customer receives for something like that, they become, a lot of them, lifelong referrals because they're so appreciative, so thankful that you simply acknowledge them. Not that they're going to go, oh my gosh, I'm going to get another $10, Starbucks gift card. I'm going to keep referring them for that. That's not the reason. It's just, I think, just us as humans and human nature, we just want to be acknowledged.
Well, and that's, we really appreciated it because if he didn't get jobs, we weren't paying our bills. Mm-hmm. And so I think when you would send that off, you're thinking most people do work. And so, think of all the teachers sitting in the teacher's lounge at lunch and somebody says, oh, I need my house painted. Well, you just sent this teacher a gift card, thank you for the referral. They're like, oh, I have a great painter. So I think to acknowledge those that do refer is a huge, small expense. A little organization, but it's well worth it.
And we'll go on to the next question. Last thing for that person, door hangers. You got to do them. You're gonna get jobs. Door hangers.
So, we're talking about side hustle. And so, I think what we're acknowledging is that the economy does change and there's times where you may have to add services to keep your company, all your employees working and to pay your bills. And so, we were talking about some of the different side hustles. We talked about, furniture flipping, the expert stain machine. But over the years, gutter cleaning.
Okay, we'll talk about some more here. I think Asher's got another question.
Okay.
This is a different Daniel, but he
Hi, Daniel.
Sprayed some wood for a cabinet build and pieces were stacked by the customer. Paint stuck together. For repair, can I sand edges of paint that peeled and respray or sand everything to bare wood?
You don't have to sand it to bare wood. You're going to have to sand it to the point that obviously when you respray it doesn't show. Now, depending how long, one of the simplest and easiest ways to get rid of runs, drips, stuff like that is true swipes swabs. If it's just a couple things, and wipes, they're absolutely amazing for getting rid of stuff like that. And we eventually started using denatured alcohol to rub out runs, rub out large areas and stuff like that. Denatured alcohol works absolutely amazing in a certain time window. If you're within a couple days, once the paint cures, you can't use denatured alcohol, but wherever it sucked, you can literally rub it out with denatured alcohol and then reshoot it. Now, if you're sanding, you're probably going to have to sand, skim with Bondo, sand again, but you don't have to go all the way down to bare wood. You're going to have to just go all the way down to where you actually rub your hand over it and you don't feel any imperfection at all and it's smooth. So it would be rare that we would ever sand something to bare wood, but denatured alcohol is the magic solution when it comes to a painted surface and getting rid of imperfections and repainting without having to bondo and sand and stuff. So
Another question?
Yeah, there's one more. Both those Daniels, as well as a third Daniel,
Whoa.
say thank you for the videos.
Thank you,
Cool,
Daniel.
Dan.
Appreciate the advice. Bombed by Brandy LLC is asking, have you ever painted 3D accent walls? If yes, do you suggest using only flat paint? The reason is she's faced problems with halo spots during touch-ups in her home, and she's suspecting it's due to the finish, she says.
So I haven't done like a 3D accent wall. I've done a lot of accent walls, and and like the issue she just brought up, haloing and touch-up issues. The majority of times that you're running into problems with that is tools slightly, but it's paint. Hands down, it's paint. You have to, when you're doing accent walls, you have to use high quality paint that doesn't
Top of the line.
doesn't halo. And if halo and hat band, if you don't understand what that is, when you roll the edges and you go back and fill in the field, the two different areas where you rolled, or brushed, it leaves a mark, a halo around it. Or if you go touch up right in the middle of the wall, the touch up shows, and you're building up sheen upon itself. You're building up color upon itself, color inconsistencies, within the paint. I'll tell you, one of the best paints, two paints. I'm gonna give you two paints recommendations that resolved all those problems for me in the past. What
Was it flat sheen she used? Is that a issue of what sheen?
Yeah.
And so the two paints that I literally do not halo, hat band, do touch up well, Benjamin Moore Sure Scrub and Bear Dynasty. And I absolutely love both for anything dark. This room right behind, this is Bear Dynasty. This would be the exact prime example where you would see haloing, hat banding, touch up spots in the middle. It had carpet installed in here. I had to go, obviously carpet damages the walls. I had to go touch up all over the place, touch up baseboards, right in the middle of the wall, right up the walls. You can't even see it. You cannot see it. The wall's been painted for 6 months to a year now, something like that. I can't say enough about it. This is Bear Dynasty right here, one of their one coat colors, and so sheen has something to do with it. Flat is going to be one of the tough ones, but Sure Scrub flat. This is matte, so this is Bear Dynasty matte, but I've done Sure Scrub flat. Can't say enough about it. It's both of them, resolve a nightmare. This, I would think, like, more than likely, probably 80 to 85% of other paints that I would have used, even high-end paints with this color, I would have had that same problem. So, all around the room. So getting back on, you brought up,
We're talking about side hustles.
And you brought up
so,
one of them
So
was-
ways of making money when things are a little slow, adding services and adding value to your clients. And I said you did gutter cleaning.
So gutter cleaning, you're already power washing the house to begin with. So cleaning gutters, we would charge $250 to clean gutters, and it's a great service. There's nothing worse than painting somebody's house and their gutters not being cleaned, overfilling and spilling on their nice, freshly painted house and making a mess. But it's a service to offer, and you're there. We would use one of those hooked gutter cleaners. Use one of those things. We just kept it in our van. You're on the roof, typically on a 2-story house, power washing anyways. You're right there, clean the gutter. So that's one of them. What's another one?
Another service you offered, at the beginning you subcontracted out a lot of work, like drywall.
So I subbed
carpentry work.
drywall and carpentry. I subbed it out, and the reason why I ended up doing it was it was always a scheduling nightmare trying to work with the subcontractors with my schedule. I'm painting the house in one day. I need to get out of here. You got to get your job done, and sometimes our schedule we can fit somebody in earlier, and they hadn't got there yet. So it just became this big problem. So I'm like, why don't I just do drywall
And make the money
and carpentry myself, and then I don't want to say like that I'm ripping the customer off, but I would typically charge more than a drywaller and more than a carpenter because I'm offering the convenience. The customer doesn't have to go search out this other person to find and schedule it. I'm doing it all in one. And so we actually did do really well, made pretty good money doing all of our carpentry and all of our drywall work.
Yeah, and so that's why I think like our platform, we really want you, if you have any side hustles that you do to help you when you're slow or things, that you did in the past and it helped you, but then you got too busy and so you discontinued those. Because there are some services that you started off doing and then you discontinued because we were too busy just painting. But I remember one value you gave was like a lifetime warranty where you'd come out once a year, you'd power wash the house that you'd already painted, and you would go through and say, your sprinkler's hitting this side and it's gonna ruin the siding, so you should have that adjusted. This light's out. I mean, you would walk the house and you would kind of do an inspection, and it was really giving a good value and it was at a good affordable rate. So think outside the box, offer more services, and you'll make more money at one house. And
who doesn't want a lifetime warranty on their house? I mean, my gosh, for the life of the paint job. And what's interesting, no paint's gonna last a lifetime. But the thing is, like a lot of we would go back 5 years later to maybe do an interior, paint job on that same house, and we would notice, on the side of the house, it's getting all messed up because of the sprinklers hitting the house. And those are the things that the customers just don't think about. Our lifetime warranty, paint job, it was a 4-page inspection form. We walked around and we would identify those things to the customer and say, not only is it's damaging the paint job, it's damaging the siding on the house.
Yeah.
And then we actually offered the service to adjust the sprinkler heads. And so, because I actually laid sprinklers in earlier in my life, so I had that experience. So the lifetime warranty paint job it's an awesome service, and when it's slow, you just send your guys out, you schedule like 5 in a row, and they just go out and they power wash 5 houses in a row, write up the report, hand it to the customer. Great customer service thing, that customers absolutely love. So what's another one?
Do you have a question, Asher?
Asher's got a question.
DL and Chris both say you almost have to do, one of them says in Boise in particular, you almost have to do drywall or you can't get work around here.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah, it's hard to get just any contractors that do side jobs because they're so busy. It's
and it's just offering a good value, but I do think.
Okay, he's got another question.
Oh, sorry. Tommy is saying he needs a good budget buttery gun to run on his POS X7 pump. Cabinets and trim only. Recommendations?
An X7?
Yeah.
And he's painting cabinets?
Yeah, cabinets and trim only.
I run the Titan RX Pro. I mean, this is a gun I run on all my sprayers. I like it. I've been spraying so many years. I used to, but I wouldn't say, because he said budget, huh?
Yeah, good budget, buttery gun to run on.
Yeah, because, so that's, I mean, it's tough because, budget, when you are on a budget, you're not going to get some things that really actually help you have success and help you in the long run.
Some things are worth to pay for.
Some things are worth it, and a good gun is worth it. One of the things is a nice, soft, easy trigger pull, because I eventually started developing tendonitis in my fingers from spraying thousands and thousands of hours, and the light trigger pull on the RX Pro was just an absolute game changer to me. And usually budget guns are 4-finger guns, and I don't think anybody should be using a 4-finger gun. I think you should be using a 2-finger gun because you have more control of the gun, in my opinion. The budget guns, sometimes they're not repackable. Sometimes the packings are really expensive. The RX Pro, the first time you repack it, you just flip the seat and it's repacked, so it doesn't cost you anything. So that saves you a lot of money. When you repack it after that, it's very simple and easy to pack. It's super lightweight. It's toolless to take off the filter. But you know, if you're on a budget and you just can't afford that, Bedford actually makes some amazing products. Bedford airless spray tips are cheaper than Titan, Graco, and Tritech, and are actually really, really good products.
Comparable.
All their packings is just as good as OEM. So if you're repacking your gun, buy Bedford. You're going to save a lot of money. Bedford now sells spray guns, and they do sell an affordable spray gun. So if I wasn't going to buy a Titan RX Pro and I just was simply on a budget, needed to save $100, you know, maybe I would step down to a Bedford, but I would never, I just would never use anything that was gonna not just be more comfortable, ergonomic, and, you know, make me a faster, more efficient painter.
Wouldn't you recommend a hose whip also?
Yeah, hose whip.
Excuse
Every single spray gun on a paint sprayer, an airless sprayer should have a hose whip. You should never spray without a hose whip. It's going to be easier to manipulate, maneuver the gun, get in tight spaces. It's going to save your wrist, elbows, shoulders, and stuff from trying to manipulate an airless spray hose. Get an airless hose whip. Yep. So what was so another side hustle was
Window cleaning?
Window cleaning. So when we were slow, I was like, oh my gosh. So and the reason why I even thought about this is I even had a customer, you know, a couple customers complained after you power wash the house, you know, you're obviously going to get the spots on the windows and stuff. And one customer, you know, said, you know, you dirtied my windows, and they actually charged me for it. And so I'm like,
Way back in the day.
Yeah, way back in the day. I'm like, you know, she has a point. I mean, we power washed our house. The windows get spots on them, and they get a little bit dirty. So why don't I offer window cleaning, and we can just start cleaning windows, and I'll just charge that we're all finished, and then the final product ends up looking even better. It's like why we paint the roof jacks on the top of the house. Why do we paint the mailbox post? Is the end product for little effort ends up being more polished and refined at the end. It's a better product. So why not clean the windows? And so we started cleaning windows. And so eventually we just get busy enough, you know, where we don't need to do some of those things, but we did them, you know, because we were slow. And but we could make more money painting exteriors than we could, you know, cleaning windows eventually. So we transitioned out of that. What's another one?
What's another one? Caught me off guard. I mean, you would do the lifetime warranty power washing, you clean gutters. I mean, I think that's the thing. It's just, I mean, and share your ideas, but I think in life, there are seasons, and some years are busier where you don't have time to do the extras, but other years they're slower. And so you market those. You let your customers know that you're offering these services. And I think, you know, that's how we were able to stay successful, because there were times when in Boise, I think, what was it, in 2010, 12, where the market completely slowed down and there's no new construction for like 3 or 4 years. And so, you know, doing these other, being diversified and diversifying your revenue stream, you were able to keep going. And then when times got good again, you could cut them back because you're too busy doing the things that, you know, were the most profitable and gave us the best.
You want me to tell you another one?
Yeah.
Christmas lights.
Oh yeah. That was, you never did it, but you had the thought that if we were ever slow, you were going to start that.
Well, actually, I created the business. I created all the material, you know, to market it to my customers. And I thought if I got slow, then I would do it, because I would pull a trigger, you know, because we're painters. We already have ladders. We're painters. We're on roofs. I mean, we're accustomed to all that. We're working, you know, around their fascia. We know exactly where it's all at. And, you know, and one of the like main reasons why I never really pulled the trigger on it is I really didn't want to go outside and freeze my butt off. And so,
but there's a lot of money in installing Christmas lights.
There's a lot of money.
And removing them. So I just think that's where, you know, side hustles, share the ones that you do. There's a lot available, and find what you love doing. Chris found that he loves
I got another
doing
one.
furniture.
On how I even actually got the Christmas lights idea, installing them, was the manager to Sherwin-Williams that I bought store paint from. He actually installed Christmas lights, and he was the manager of Sherwin-Williams. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I should do that too. And so, the furniture flipping. So, I mean, I think we talked about that in the beginning.
Yeah,
Furniture flipping
but
is a really...
But I think like the thing is you may not like doing drywall, or you may like doing carpentry work. Like, do what you like and add that service so that you can bring more value to your clients.
Here's another one that I never did, but and I've never really talked about it, but I own an all-surface cleaner, because when I do epoxy floors or stained concrete, I use my all-surface cleaner. You're out power washing the customer's house, you can offer the service to clean their walkway and clean their driveway with your all-surface cleaner, and there you make $250 just like that.
Well,
And
epoxy floors, we haven't talked about that.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's like...
That's a niche.
I do floors. I mean, I do
Yeah.
epoxy floors. I'm going to be doing epoxy floor coming up in the nearest future, and I'm doing a new course on it. So, which brings up, we are getting close to finishing our exterior course.
Yes, hopefully
So-
in time for exterior season to start.
That's really exciting, because we've got a masking course, a caulking course, a cabinet course. Everything you need to do, everything you need to know about painting an exterior is coming up
In March.
our new online course.
So March, stay tuned.
But epoxy course is coming after that. So,
So let's take one more question, and then we have other stuff to
and
do.
I got one more side hustle I was going to
Okay,
say.
share it.
Okay, this one takes just your mouth, just running your mouth, and it's not like, it's like, I guess I can talk a little bit. It's selling upgraded products when you're painting the house. And I would say probably 70% of the houses we painted, we added bug juice to the house. And bug juice costs you a certain amount of money.
Doesn't feed them to grow.
Yeah, it costs a certain amount of
Kills
money.
them.
We just marked it up 50%, added the bug juice to the house, and we would make money. We had upgrades, upsell bug juice, Ocon paint booster on stucco buildings, mildewcide, or like smelly juice to your paint.
For interiors.
Yeah, so
Paint sensation.
okay, Asher's got a question, I think.
Yeah.
And then we'll go.
So one of the Daniels is asked how to make the move from a salaried job to starting a solo business.
I think that the thing is at some point you just have to be all in. You have to be willing to take a risk and be willing to work hard and not quit and just do it. I mean, obviously,
That's what I did.
yeah. I mean, I think, at maybe if you're a salary job, you can in the evening saying, I'm going to spend 2 to 3 hours, getting my incorporation, getting my, business cards, getting my Instagram, getting my Facebook, getting my website up. And, I'm going to get my first customer, and then I'm going to be all in. But it's kind of in life, you can't be halfway in, because halfway in will never,
I'll say, like, because I mean, I left a desk and tie job to do painting, do what I love to do, and I didn't know I loved to do it at that time because I didn't do it, but I eventually, just made the leap into starting my own business and working for myself, and I just had a leap of faith and just went, all in and doing it. And the thing is,
Quitting's not an option.
once you make that transition, there was no option of failure to me, and it was work 24 hours a day until I'm successful. I mean, I got up early, worked on marketing, went out and painted, worked on marketing afterwards, and it's learning all the different avenues of how you can market yourself to have success. And the only way you'll have success is to market your company, and that's going to take work. It's going to have to take creativity. creativity. It's going to have to take thoughts, and there's so many ways. I was bound and determined to growth hack myself and not spend any money, and to market.
Because we had no money.
We had no money, and market free.
an option.
And we did it. And it wasn't, I mean, I didn't start making the same amount of money where I left the job that I was working, but it was time, and I was bound and determined to build it. I was bound and determined to build it into a company I can sell.
But I think counting the costs, because I think, working a 9 to 5, you have security and you have a set amount of money and you're doing one job. When you are a business owner, you wear many different hats. And so you have to really realize, like, until I have money to pay an office worker or a bidder or a marketing person, like, I'm going to have to do all these things. Can I do all these things? Because being a painter, that's a skill that takes time to learn. But just because you're a good painter doesn't mean you're going to have a successful business. So, if you don't have any business experience, there's junior colleges, there's online courses. I would give yourself time to prepare for success. Like, don't just quit and not have a plan. You need to have a plan. And if maybe you don't start your own business for a year because you decide you want to take a couple business classes, you want to have a good website up and running, plan it out. Have a purpose and have a goal, and then implement it.
Yeah, just understand the work's not going to come to you. You're going to have to go get the work. But in painting, there's an insane amount of work out there and not enough painters to do the work.
Yeah, there's a shortage in the trades.
And so you can do really well, but you are going to have to go get it. So yeah. I think that's going to wrap it up.
Yeah, share your growth hack ideas, because that's what this community is about. That's what Paint Life is about. It's not keeping the secret sauce to yourself, but it's sharing. It's sharing that information and giving people tools that if they take them and use them, you can be successful too. So thank you for being with us.
Secret sauce.
Secret sauce.
We'll see you next time right here live on Paint Life TV.
Have a good day.